Hi, this is Chris from Fanatical. So what I quickly wanted to cover here was the scenario of where you want to compare just cash versus accrual balances and even cash versus accrual P&L statements. So a couple of things I'll go through. The first thing is let's run a report here, and what I'm going to do is just build a basic report and then make some changes, and let's compare cash versus accrual accounting. So there I'm going to go just create a basic report. I'm just stepping through the wizard here. In terms of columns, I'm just going to take a total. I won't add any of that, and there I'm going to build just that basic report. So what we can see here, just in terms of your selections that you've got here, is that if you open up, right, that's your list of values feature. And then here I can see, just a whole number of values here. So my default is essentially actual. And at the company level or at the entity level, that comes from the settings over here. So, I basically run the report for stock industries. So at for the whole sheet, the default comes from QBO. And then we can see, I'm on the accrual basis. So all reports essentially will be on accrual basis if I don't change anything and if I just use this indicator over here. I can, however, choose to change it, right? I can change it here. Let's say, this formula over here, if I change this to accrual, then, we're making sure that for all formulas that essentially reference that cell, B6 in our formula, will now all most definitely, and they will remain, to be calculated on the accrual method. If I then basically want to, let's say, make a comparison between that and the cash method, I'm just going to copy this over. So let's just do that there again. So I'm going to copy, there we go, paste. Okay, there it's pasted now. And then I'm just going to choose that and make this the cash method. Right, so then we can most definitely see, between the two methods, right, that is the comparison here between the two, right, let's make that the cash method, and then we can see the comparison, right, between the two values. So as two columns, and then we can see, just the comparison between the two. Okay, you then, obviously with Excel, you can make any variance calculation or anything that you want to do over there. Okay. Another thing that I just wanted to show, just from a comparison perspective, is also just on our dashboard. So if we just run the dashboard, and I'm just going to go and execute the dashboard here just for last month as well. Let's give that a second, just to execute. Okay, so that basically has completed now. And what I wanted to bring your attention to is just down here is one of our charts here that we've got in the dashboard is essentially a comparison between this one shows net income, accrual versus cash, accounting method. There we can see that over there. And, as we know, if we just right click on that and we see where this data is coming from, we can see that it's coming from here, these control totals here. There we can see total profit and loss. And then, but we're pulling in, I'm just going to click OK and then navigate over there because that's right on the bottom here of our summary sheet. Right there we can see in our formula, we actually have, the accrual method, for row 25, and there we have the cash method, for that one. So another quick change that if you do want, you can change that. We're pulling in the total profit and loss over there, right? And so, but you might also want to change that to just maybe bringing in total income, right? So let's just copy, I'm just going to copy down total income. And, because that is the account that is being referenced now, right? So we know, you can see from a cell referencing, we're referencing total profit and loss. But let's just say if you want total income, just on that basis, let me copy that total income. So I'm going to just copy that account, right, or the parent account over there and bring that in over there, right? So what we'll see now, so I'm still basically have my cash versus accrual method, cash of accounting, right? Between those two, we can see that, but now it's essentially updated, this dashboard over here, right? So there we can see this dashboard now looks fundamentally different. This is just test data over here, so it's not really, so I'm in this test data. So, but if you, in a real life scenario, you'd probably see quite different results, based on the values, there we can see, just the differences between those two. And then obviously you can expand, that to include even more. You can bring in expenses or anything else as well. But that just is how you can also just put it through, just to a dashboard perspective as well. Okay, so just a few things to help you just manage, cash versus accrual accounting method and make those comparisons. Thank you.